You heard right. Our podcast is now an unboxing show. We're going to answer that age-old question, what's in the box? Today, we're going to be unboxing the original collector's edition of Star Wars The Old Republic. My original collector's edition, which obviously I did open at the time, but I didn't open all of the parts. In fact, Malgus has never come out of the box. I think I peeked at him. So you will see that and more on this episode of the SWTOR Escape podcast from newoverlords.com. Our broadcast azimuth today is EPC 440. And with me is my co-host, Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey, Max. Oh, it's going pretty well. But not as well as you, because I can see from your note that you've been time traveling again.
I don't know what you mean, but I've been doing many things, so we'll figure that out.
Yeah, so I did chicken out this week and finish up my Shadow Syndicate rep because
I did say
I don't know.
time traveling. I see what you mean.
So yeah, that's my exciting thing. I finished off my Syndicate rep. I could have kept doing it like one token every day for conquest reasons, but yeah, I just now I don't have to worry about like not remembering to finish it before season 3 starts, and since we don't know when 711 is coming, or do we know at this point?
No, we do not yet know.
We still don't know, right?
Don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, I know it's not going to drop tomorrow, and it but still. So I'm done with that. For MFN this week, we had exactly 8 people, so we took advantage of that and went and did an operation, which we did Eternity Vault, which one that we had done pretty recently, but Corley is reluctant to do KP because I don't like the first boss in KP.
This is well known. It is known. Seema does not like the first boss. As a healer, it is a terrible boss for healers because there's no tanking and he just randomly runs around the room. And if people aren't positioning themselves well, then the whole group is like taking swipe damage and the healers are going like,
yeah, it's fine. But it is fine. It's fine. It's all fine. So
we're all fine here.
We can do KP anytime. I might still complain though, because complaining is a thing. But speaking of ops, in our ops team, we went and killed the first boss in R4 again, so that's good. It's a repeatable event because we killed him last week too.
Yes.
It's always good when you can do it twice and it validates that the first time was not a fluke, which I knew it wasn't because we almost killed him so many times.
Well, I would count it as it is on farm at this point.
Yeah, it's totally on farm now.
I mean, it took us like 3 or 4 tries, but I even have pictures. So I will play this.
So then we spent half of our night basically on the next boss, who's the Watchdog, and that is another movement heavy fight with colors. And I totally, from that fight for sure, can see, like, the first fight would be tricky as a 16-man fight, but the Watchdog I can envision that it would be really hard for it to work at all in 16-man. So I wonder if that was part of their decision not to have 16-man versions of this operation, because it gave them the freedom to make fights like the Watchdog fight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I'm up talking because it's really a question. I don't know the answer. But yeah. So yes, the first boss is totally on farm. The Watchdog yet, not so much. We will have it on farm soon, I'm pretty sure though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So officially fall.
Yes.
I have had the heat on in my house a few times.
I've had it on all week.
Even before. Yeah. I have it on right now, actually. But today, it was the ceremonial removal of the air conditioner from the window. So now I can more easily keep it roasty toasty warm in that room because it doesn't have a hole in the wall that's open all the time.
Yeah.
Called a window with a air conditioning unit in it. So that's sort of like a mark of the season. Like for some people, it's like when the pumpkin spice latte appears. For me, it's like when the air conditioner comes out of the window.
Got it.
So, good week though. How about you, Max? How's your week been?
So I did put in the notes. I had downtime because I was traveling again, and apparently how I wrote it was down time traveling again.
Right?
I need some extra punctuation in there to clarify what I'm trying to say. So apparently I was time traveling. No, I did travel. In fact, I told my daughter, let me switch over to this. I told my daughter I would wear this. Kappa Kappa Gamma. My daughter is one of the the event organizer for Kappa Kappa Gamma at University of Iowa, and she did a spectacular job doing like they called it a dude's weekend because it was kind of like a dad's weekend, but for anyone to bring a significant male figure to the campus, and there was a couple side events, but my daughter and I just had a blast. We were mostly on our own. We went out and got steaks one night. We watched, I was saying in the pre-show, we watched the first episode of Andor, which I had not seen yet. We watched the first episode of She-Hulk, which I had not seen yet. We watched the first 2 episodes of the new season of Rick and Morty. We were having a really good time and goofing off. We went for multiple runs. She showed me her running routes. She's been killing it as a runner lately. So I had a blast. Around that, on the sides, doing a little Star Wars. This is the video I'm showing right now is our R4 fight, our successful R4 fight from this evening, which was quite fun to get through. We definitely have this fight down and well understood at this point. Just need to keep our DPS going up. So yeah, Zen, it's a real sorority, just like in the movies. She lived in the sorority house, but they're pretty good sorority. I mean, they're focused on grades and internships and running well-run events and charity, and all of the girls are either like athletes or have day jobs even while they're on campus. So they're a really good bunch. But yes, it's a full on sorority. My daughter lives in an apartment this year though, not at the sorority house. Which she laments because they actually had like a cook at the sorority house that would make and I met her when I was there, these spectacular meals and stuff. So boy, I want to move there. No, I don't. That sounds inappropriate.
I do get it though. I wouldn't mind having someone cook for me.
I want the chef to come here.
Yeah,
let's
right,
put it that
right.
way.
Yeah.
On the side, playing some Star Wars, as we said. R4, the first boss is fine. The second boss, we tried out the mechanics that we hadn't figured out last time. Which beam you got to stand in, where you got to put the circles, where you got to drag the boss. And I think we've kind of learned that fight. We didn't get it down tonight though. We ran out of time, but seems like a reasonable fight, which we will get into. And then on the side, I've been playing a few other things too. I did join and say hi during the launch of Wrath of the Lich King with our
you did. That's right.
group. I was in there creating a Death Knight for that, which wasn't even part of the Wrath content. It was pre-Wrath. Because if you made a Death Knight, if you still do it, it still works apparently. If you make a Death Knight in retail, it unlocks a fancy mount, which is a really cool mount.
No, if you make it in classic.
Yeah, you make it in classic, but then in retail, the mount is where you get the mount.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then Tuesday is the launch of another AIE game that I'm helping get us grounded in. Although it's it's just only a few of us playing right now, is Dual Universe. I really like Dual Universe because it's a building game. It's voxel based. You build buildings and spaceships and you fly them in space, and there's semi-realistic physics. If you want to figure out if you're going to get 3 tons of ore off the ground, you do some math. You figure out what is the gravity on this planet and how many tons of newtons of thrust do I need and things like that. But it is fun. But it was definitely plenty of Star Wars time. And now I got to get back to Andor, and I can't wait to do that. But we should talk more about Star Wars because we have a fair amount of news this week to get into.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
So let's jump right in because we did not talk about this last week. And it's been clarified since. All of the not final details, but a new updated set of details for 7.1.1 have been posted. Uh, Galactic Season 3 will be launching with 7.1.1. They're still targeting it as a fall release. Technically, that could go basically until December 20th, 21st,
Right, or it could be tomorrow.
or it could be tomorrow. They haven't set a date, so we don't know that yet. But
No,
Galactic Season 3 will be launching. And Zen, to your question earlier in the chat room, they did say that they would be extending the period to be able to get the Syndicate rep until the start of Galactic Season 3. Now, they could have changed that and maybe it could be indefinite and just go on forever. But that's what they said. That's what I'm planning around. And I'm going to get that reputation done before Galactic Season 3 hits. Again, which could be any day. So I'm going to probably try to finish it this week. I just need like 60 more Syndicate rep tokens. Just, I have to turn in only 60 more. So that's like 90 minutes of grinding on, maybe even less on Coruscant. I did it on Nar Shaddaa, which was fine, but that area on Coruscant, the Black Sun area, might even be better. So we saw that.
What I like about that area is it's just so big, and people who are questing there's just plenty of mobs, and I don't feel as like invasive.
And it's not as small a circle. Like the area where I was at in Nar Shaddaa, I was doing a pretty tight circle, and that gets boring really quick. So
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah,
I'll put on
you need to be watching. Yeah, exactly.
something to watch and grind out those last.
Listen to Murderbot Diaries.
Make sure you go down, take 500 purple Jawa junk, go down to the Cartel Bazaar. There's a Jawa who set up a little stand tucked behind a storage crate, but he's got a relatively big area back there with like a few boxes and a stand and stuff. You go talk to that Jawa, and he will give you an item which will boost the drop rate pretty significantly of getting those syndicate plans. So if you're grinding it out, if that's what you're trying to do, that's where you want to go. And again, remember the cap on how much rep you can turn in per week is a 5,000 cap. You can go over that with your last turn in. So get up to like 4,990 and turn in a purple one. And you could be getting closer to 6,000 a week, but that's all you can get. And if you're trying to get the last 30,000 from champion to legendary, that's a lot of time. That's potentially 5 to 6 weeks. So do it. Or you're going to be late, as in the late Star Wars player who no longer has access to this rep.
Right. Yes, you'll be. The time will have expired.
Also confirmed for 7.1.1, Feast of Prosperity, as you can see here. They did announce some fun side features for Outfitter, which we have not seen yet, but you will be able to name and favorite outfits. So you have a little bit of quality of life upgrades to the Outfitter, which is kind of cool. They are adding conquest objectives to the Manon Daily area, which will be interesting to see and maybe give us some more reason to go there and some things to do on Mandatory Fun Night. That would be really awesome as well. And then there was the extensive post, which we did talk about already, on the class balance changes. And we saw more posts on those as they were going on. There were a couple clarifications. So in addition to the other fixes, like fixes to R4 that are going in there, you can read some of those notes. But this week, there was more in the dev tracker, so you might want to look it up. In fact, Bryant Wood posted specifically about daily resource matrices, and they will be easier to obtain in 7.1.1. So this is a relatively new post that came up in the last week. I didn't find them difficult to obtain at this point, especially if you're up to R4 and you kind of don't need them anymore. Did you see a big need for these, Seema?
Uh,
I guess it's fine. I mean,
yeah, I mean, yeah. I believe that I believe that I didn't, and probably you didn't, but that's because of the way we play, right? We are already to a certain point.
Yeah,
But I also believe that they must have looked at numbers and saw that people were
maybe.
hitting a like early on we did, right? So maybe there's people that are still in that kind of a stage where they need more than they're getting.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. So yeah, bunch of stuff coming for 711. Feast of Prosperity, that'll be fun. Let's get it in here. Feast of Prosperity would be good around, harvest time, harvest festival, October, Thanksgiving-ish time period, in early November. Let's get the update. I would like it next week. So let's because I want
I'm looking forward
7.2.
to the balance changes because they are going to buff healers.
You were supposed to bring balance. Yep.
Nope. No balance,
Buff
just
buff
buff me,
healers.
please.
No balance, just buffs.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Which actually I am showing right now. If people are sort of noticing where we are. We are on the new forums, right,
Oh,
Frima?
yes. We are on the new forums. And I'm supposed to talk about that. Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, the
Tricky.
new forums, they are here. They were coming, but now they're here.
They have
Um,
arrived.
they had a number of reasons for migrating to a new forum system. I think the most compelling for them was that the old forums were um, based on they were based on how do I want to say this, Max? They were
A
just like
more
old.
obsolete platform.
Yeah,
Difficult to
and
maintain,
it
difficult to
was getting
manage.
harder and harder to maintain and manage. They can't add new features to it, so
Yeah.
they had to either sort of decide to stop supporting the forums or change to a new forum software. So they decided not to stop the forums and instead to go with the new software. It actually looks pretty slick. Um, and
Yeah.
they have some features that like tagging and also I guess I, there's going to be a badge feature where they'll be able to give badges or people will give each other badges. I don't know for particularly helpful and constructive posts,
Badges. We don't need no
which
stinking badges.
the idea of rewarding people for constructive behavior on the forums, I think, is appealing too. I don't know how effective that will be. I'm curious to see how effective it will be. It might be very effective. I don't know.
Seems like more changes are coming to the entire website as well.
It's that yes, it does sound like that. She says they talk about that quite a bit and they don't have anything to say about it now. Whenever they say that, we don't have anything to say about it now, it always makes me think there's something coming.
If you look at the top of the screen, the way the navigation to news, games, store, support, play now,
Yes.
that's all
Yes.
obviously new up there. And I could see the entire website moving to that kind of model.
And
But yeah,
And she said that in general, trying to make the game and everything around it just more modern is
yeah,
part of the motivation as well.
yeah. It works. It works for mobile where the old forums kind of didn't. There, I mean, that was a big piece of it as well. So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of that. There was definitely a bunch of angst associated with it. There's a bunch of off-topic, ridiculous replies in all of the threads, like, "Oh, is this so you can ban people easier? Oh, I guess you're gonna be this more ways to silence our feedback. You know, I please silence more of the feedback." In one of the posts, Jackie said, if we deleted posts that had negative feedback, there would probably be like
We wouldn't
nothing
even
left in the
need a
forums.
forum. Yeah, right. Right. Right.
You just delete all of the negative feedback. No, they don't. Look at every thread, every major thread is just filled with people going, is this game even this game is dead. It's been dead for 5 years. But you still
Yeah.
subscribe obviously because you can't get to the forums if you're not a subscriber for now. So a
So
a couple of the other things
yeah,
come up.
yeah, one of the things they kind of brought up is, and it's like a couple of people commented that the fact that you have to subscribe in order to be able to post on the forums
Yeah.
makes the forums an elite thing, and that they think they should let preferred people on the forum. And one person that one comment or response to that I read, I thought kind of made sense. He was like saying, until they're ready to like have free moderators, people who are just volunteers. As long as it costs them to run the forums, then absolutely they should be able to charge. But Jackie also said that they have had discussions about that around that, and one possible thing they might do is to have some portions of the forum um, available to preferred players. The ones that make sense, like I don't know, I don't know which ones make sense,
Well,
but
like
like
an
strongholds.
community help or some kind of forum, community
Yeah,
discussion. The other problem you get with a completely open forums, especially in a big game like this, is yeah, they're you would need
bots
a
and trolls
tons,
and
bots and trolls and gold sellers and people just making accounts or taking old dead accounts and trashing and trolling and the moderation of that area of the forums I expect would be 10 times what all of the current forums moderation currently is, because they actually have you have an incentive not to get yourself banned from the current forums because you get your account banned that you're paying for, and that would be bad. And I didn't read too much into this. What was Eric's deal on polls? I mean, I get some of the sentiment behind it, but was this like
yeah,
a
it was
lot of
just
people? A lot of people seem to be asking for them. Was that what it is? Yeah, I think so.
yeah, I just they just want to know why it's not a feature because, it's the man keeping them down.
Yeah, which again is another thing. If you let us have polls, then what? You would do a poll that said, should we have hood toggle? And it would be a 10 million people voted yes for hood toggle, and nobody voted no. So now BioWare has to do hood toggle. It's irrelevant. It's not useful. It's for one. For two, that's 10 million. That's 100% of the people on the forums that happen to be looking at that particular poll. For two, for three, it's not science. This is not survey science. You could do a statistical survey, but that is not what a poll is. You will also get like, you know, people just upvoting things because other people upvoting it. Well, everybody seems to be voting for XYZ thing. I'll vote for it too. And it
I
it
mean, even surveys have their issues, so a
right.
poll is like
And these would be player created polls. Like, yeah. Do
so
do you
the
think Eric
places
should
where a
shave his
poll
head?
is useful is where you're asking your friends, do you want to do Thursday night or Friday night when we
Yeah.
go out drinking?
Yes.
So, but
Not
what new features should the game have? It's not, polls are not useful.
right. Right, because you're just setting yourself up for disappointment as well. We voted that we had a poll, and the poll says SWTOR should put in 10 more new operations. That's what everybody wants.
Marauders should be buffed.
Yeah, or Marauder should
We
be
believe.
Juggernaut should be deleted from the game. There's things that they can't do. There's things that are impossible to do, and you putting in a poll and thinking that you now have convinced someone somewhere that now something needs to happen, it's just going to give you more fuel for your rage fire when you can say, we had a poll and we told them that they shouldn't do this. That's not how it works.
But
That's
what
not how
would
it works.
carry a lot more weight than a poll is if you did have a serious concern or a feeling or idea, is that you make a well thought out, constructive post about it. Because
Yeah,
knowing Jackie and knowing other people at Bioware that we've met and had conversations with, or we've read their posts on they read the forums.
they do.
That they do.
And they
So
would look at all of these polls,
yeah,
but it's the polls would be much less useful because it would be, I made up this random question which doesn't really answer anything, versus them reading a post by someone that says, hey, just so you know, from a role player perspective, when we're chatting on the fleet, this situation tends to come up relatively often. If you could do something around us being able to favorite outfits so that we could switch them on the fly, and I've got a lot of them, that would be really great. That's actionable. This tells people like what and why and how it makes them feel and how that they would play. they can incorporate that into new ideas and new things. So don't suggest solutions. Talk about your experience and the experience you would like to have.
Right.
Don't suggest don't do the development and design, because you may be designing something that's impossible within the current constraints of the engine or the platform or the tools that they have.
Right. Or it might be contrary to other goals they have. Whereas if you left it just if you left it open, that they could come up with
Yeah,
something.
exactly. And they love that and they look at that. So, I mean, Ashley was talking about that in our interview with her, which we posted another link to today out there, which got a bunch of traffic, which was really fun. That team, I know people think that all developers hate all of their customers, which is the most ridiculous position to come in with. That team does not. No team really does. And that team in particular, because we've talked to so many of them, they love the game, they love the community, they want it to be something great, and they're working hard towards that goal. It's a difficult project. It's a difficult thing to do. Making games is hard business. The more I learn about it, and we're doing this other podcast. We've got 20 episodes in where we're talking to creators from big games to small games. It's a difficult job. You have a lot of constraints. You have a lot of factors that prevent you from doing all of the lovely things you would like to do for all of your customers and all of your players.
Hmm. And one thing I'm learning after, as we talk to all these people, is how people oriented the game industry really is. I hadn't really realized it's like so many people involved in every effort, and the successful games have people who work well together and can, yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's fascinating.
Yeah. One other post that has gotten a lot of posts and a lot of traffic around it. I think they're pretty excited about it, and there's just a lot of moving parts to it, which is the updates to the launcher. So it was tested out. They're moving forward with it. They're expanding the test. There's like 4 or 5 or 6 posts in the dev tracker where they're going on about the launcher. So the launcher and forums were a big deal, mostly for the people who are in control of what's going on in the forums, like Jackie. So she's able to answer a lot of questions directly. I wouldn't expect behind the scenes that that's what the developers are spending most of their time on, or Ashley's now working on the launcher. So she's designing content, obviously, but a lot of focus on that, because it will potentially be an impacting thing to a lot of players to have the launcher change. And if anything goes wrong, that's a pretty significant place where you can get your install messed up. You could have to re-download the whole game. So they're trying to be real careful with it and make sure everybody's kind of prepared for it. But it should work better. I'm fine with it. I'm not really all that interested either way. I use Steam as my launcher right now, and it works really, really well. I've been very happy with it. I know it was slow to get there, but I'm good with it. Community news. We went over a little bit of it. Anything else you got to say there, Seema?
I'll just say, in general, since we talked about ops a little bit with respect to MFN and our operation team, that we do have 5 operations teams in the guild. We have one that runs, an imp team that runs on Sunday night, 2 Republic teams that run on Monday night, an imp team running on Wednesday night, and then our imp team running on Thursday nights. So I believe there's a couple of those teams that are looking for like permanent members, that they have an opening. But beyond that, if you want to get into operations, it's worth checking into our op teams, because they oftentimes need someone for that night to fill in for someone who can't make it. So it's always worth checking. And the way you would check is in our Discord. You would say, hey, I'm interested in running operations on Monday night. Who do I talk to? And then somebody will tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely check into that. That's how some people who are now long-time members of AIE started, is they wanted to try out some operations, and these are great teams to do it with. They're always happy to bring in new players and ramp them up and get them up to speed as well. And Yeah, even if you just want to try it out, just come in and sit in on one, listen to the team, see what it's like, learn how to do an operation. And if you like it, stay. That's super cool. And they would love to have you. Shout out to the chat room here in Discord. If you are not listening live, we do this show. I said do live on Thursday nights at 10:30 p.m. Central, and we're going to be doing. We'll be doing it next week as well. I don't know what we're going to be talking about next week. Maybe 7.1.1 going live. Probably not, but could be. Never know. But tonight, we're going to be asking the question. I told you the question we were going to ask, didn't I? I said we were going to ask.
Yes.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the box?
I edited that carefully. I took out an F-bomb right in the middle of it so we didn't get a adult rating on our stream.
Well done.
That
was sounded very natural.
Even just that 5-minute scene is just a disturbing scene, and that's a disturbing movie in by design.
7, in case you don't
7.
know.
What's in the box? And Brad Pitt does a great job. I always used to sort of dismiss Brad Pitt's acting because he was just too pretty back in the day. He is an amazing actor and has just developed more and more over his career. I really respect his acting ability. You look at movies like Snatch, and he would just created this character that is genre defining, or not genre defining, but breaks so many molds. I love in the movie Snatch. He's got this Irish accent that goes so far into a milieu of Irish that it's nearly incomprehensible even to Irish people. The subtitles just like at various parts of his dialogue just put question marks up because they couldn't subtitle. They had no idea what he was saying. What did he say? You like dags? All right. But yes, we're going to answer the question, and I've got it right here with me, right? Let me put it on the big screen. I have my original collector's edition box. Why are we doing this, Seema? You start with that while I make sure I'm
okay.
still
Well,
logged in.
the reason we're doing that is because BioWare is going to bring back. Well, they're going to add an ability for you to buy the in-game results of having the collector's edition, not the box, not the Malcolm statue, but the stuff that's in the game. You're going to be able to unlock the VIP vendor, for instance.
Yes, and that's
and
the
that's
main
coming.
thing. It's this guy right here on let me go there on my screen. This guy, his name is Nongta, Nogta. He is up in the VIP lounge. Everyone has been able to get up into the VIP lounge. If you got the collector's edition, you got the quote unquote bracelet, which is it shows up in your quest items tab, mission items. It's this thing, the VIP lounge wristband. Everyone else in the game has been able to buy one. I think it costs like 1 million credits, which these days is practically nothing. That allows you access to the elevators. You can come up here. It's a nice little place up here. There's banks. There's a little band. There's jukebox. But there's this vendor. So Nongta, this vendor, you are only able to access this vendor and buy stuff off of it if you bought the original collector's edition. Now, yeah, as you're saying, anyone can get to it, and there's a lot of really good stuff on here. So have you heard? I have not seen anyone saying they shouldn't get access. But, I mean,
well, that is the fear, right? That there'll be a backlash if you. But I think most people, and I certainly feel this way, that I bought the collector's edition, but it was 10 years ago. I do not.
I got all my
do
value
not,
out of it.
Yeah, right. Even if it had only been for a couple of years, I do not resent other people being able to buy this.
Right.
For sure.
So here's a view of the Imperial side. It's different on the Imperial versus the Republic side. There's a few dies here. There's a couple pets. There's a couple mounts. There's a couple toys. This set of armor, the Imperial Trooper armor, is something that people have been really, this is one of the highlights for a lot of people. So here I'll do a preview of it because this is sort of like the Imperial Stormtrooper Guard style armor that now you can put on your companions, you can have for yourself, really classic looking and still looks great to this day. This is cool armor and it's relatively cheap. It's like 20k credits per piece. Companion customizations is the other thing that people are really excited about. I see Vet, Mako, Kaleo, Ashara. Ashara's Republic size. This maybe is both of them. Ashara, and then 3 for the Deshad. What's his name? Kemval. Which is surprising that there are 3. Oh, so it's one that gives him. Oh, this is a good one. I thought a version like this, so this is number 12. I thought a version like this also shows up on one of the planets. Some of the planetary vendors, especially once you get rep on the planets, will get you these kinds of companion customizations as well. I like this armory one though, for Kemval. His skin color changes with some of the customizations though as well. Don't like the loinclothy ones. Those kind of disturbing to me. This is going to sort of like a cloth tunic-y one. I like the armor. Armor him up. Get that loincloth out of here. Don't need my Deshad in a loincloth. Kaleo. Kaleos is sort of a little bit more of an agent look. Mako. Mako naked apparently. Maybe this is just the face customization because it's got no clothes on it. Does my Mako have no clothes on her somewhere? I don't think I got her back on this character. And then a vet customization with the red skin. Little Tauntaun, Hut Observer, the Efficiency Scanner, and the Cyberglow Muvor. So yeah, that armor in particular is what people are really excited to get. Don't sleep on these vendors. There's this vendor. There's the security key, the 2-factor auth vendor, which is also on the fleet down by the guild banks. There's some really great stuff on that vendor. And then there's like the planetary vendors. There's all the vendors in the Cartel Bazaar. There's a lot of great in-game stuff just spewed around the galaxy. If you're looking for interesting things, go seek those out. Go track those down, and you will likely be very surprised at what is there and what you can get your hands on. All right. Do you want to see what's in the box, Seema? Now I've sort of buried the lead. I'm just trying to see where we're at here. Looking good. Okay. Put it up on the big screen. I'll hold stuff up to the camera too. So I have the plastic sleeve. So there's like a plastic sleeve that went around it. Then the whole thing was wrapped in plastic. But you open that plastic sleeve, you open the top of the box, it sort of fit on top. And there's a few things in here that you can see. So I put back the couple things that I had out. One of them that I just sort of mentioned is I don't think anyone really uses this anymore these days. I use Authy, I use whatever sort of auth 2-factor auth key, but this is the original. Let me make sure I can see this stuff when I'm showing it off. There we go. It's the original security key. My battery is dead, but it's the original security key, 2-factor auth key for Star Wars: The Old Republic. I still have that.
Key fob.
I bet I could crack it up and put a new battery in it. I don't really need to, though. I've got Authy these days. That fits in a little slot right there. This I obviously did take out originally, which is my original install discs. Got the little metal case.
I used to have 2. I had one for SWTOR and one for WoW.
I have 3 collector's editions of WoW on the shelf behind me here.
No, I meant key fobs.
Oh, key fobs. I'm not gonna. There's a coupon code here for gentlegiant.com for. I bet they don't make these anymore. For this custom keyboard, wield the force with this custom keyboard, mouse, and headset branded with Star Wars: The Old Republic, and I have a discount code for $30 off. So there's that. Then there's the warranty instruction card, and then 3 CDs, 3 compact discs. Again, something else that no one uses anymore these days. It actually came with 3 of them in the little metal container. So it was, I think one of them's that might be the soundtrack. 2 of 3, 1 of 3. No, it's just 3 of 3 discs to install the game, I guess. Disc 3 of 3. They just each say collector's edition, a little bit different art on each one. Satil, Malgus, and Shea Vizsla. That's Shea Vizsla on the 3rd disc. Up there. Cool. So there's that. Okay, so now we're getting into a little bit more territory where I have not looked at I have not looked at it since I opened it. And I don't know, I think I might have peeked, but I don't think I ever took Malgus out of the box. Oh. All right, so apparently here, which I have never opened, I have the collector's edition soundtrack. So this is sealed on the top. The collector's edition soundtrack, which is cool. So I don't have.
You should listen to that. Of course, you can listen to it on YouTube now.
And then apparently I have a poster folded up here. What is that? Ooh, a card. A playing card of some kind. A poster of the known galaxy and the core worlds and all of the planets. Let me try to hold that up for people. This is going to be difficult to see, I'm sure, but you can kind of see it there. This is what 4K camera's for, right? So that's kind of cool. Little map poster. And then what is this? Oh, this is certificate of authenticity for the Darth Malgus statue. So Gentle Giant Limited must have been the organization who created this statue, because that's what it said. That's their name on the on their certificate.
That's a cool picture, that map.
Yeah, isn't it? And then on the other side here, again, still wrapped in the plastic, and this I will open because I never want to open it. The Journal of Master Nost Dural. So look at this. Still in the plastic, never opened. Shall we open it, Zima? Take a look inside.
Yeah.
I was more like trying to keep everything in a pristine condition, right? It's not like I'm ever going to sell this or something, so.
Right.
Journal of Master Nost Dural. Everything's in the way here. My fellow Jedi. This volume contains the experience and research of one of the most esteemed members of our order. A whole long write-up here, and wow, bunch of art, bunch of lore. Zen, do you have this?
Yeah, he does. He got it at one of the cantinas, he says.
And did you read all of this? I could see Zen reading all of this. It's a bunch of it's kind of here. I'll hold pieces of it up. A bunch of it's kind of written, like printed as if it's handwriting of Nost Dural's journal entries. Very, very cool in here. Oh, and there's other things tucked in here apparently. And pretty extensive. So this is many pages. 105 pages of Nost Dural's journal. God, this is so cool. Maybe I will bring this upstairs and actually read some of it. The camera likes to focus on faces. It will do face tracking. What fell out. Yeah. More things fell out of the journal. Ooh, cool. It's the Jedi Temple floor plan. Look at that. That's pretty cool. How neat is that? That's pretty neat. And what is this
Yes. I agree with Zen, though. Now you have to read it.
one? I was saying I would expected Zen to be all up on Shield Generator Defense Plan by Master Belth Alusis. Defense Shield Generator
That's very
Defense
interesting.
Protected Imperial Landing. Shield Generator. Yeah, what is this? I don't Zen, what is this? What is this Shield Generator Defense Plan? What is this? What planet is this? Bothau. It's the planet of both. Bothawui. Bothawi. So somebody look that up and explain to me what I'm looking at here. Shield Generator Defense Plan by Master Belth Alusis. Defense strategy assets: 3 Corellian target-assisted blaster defense turrets, 672 Republic infantry troops, 4 Republic Special Forces squads, 23 Jedi Knights, all on the planet of Bothawi. Yeah, it must have fallen out. So those two are in this Journal of Master All. Compiled by Jedi Grandmaster Satil Shan. So this must be Satil's handwriting, or this is Nostoral's handwriting. And she just compiled all of the notes together. All right. And then the icing on the cake. Let's take a look at this, of course. So I will rest of this out. The Darth Malgus statue. So this, I think I did open it up to take a peek at it. Let's see. It's got tape around it. Yeah, the tape is cracked, so I must have opened it at least once. But I kept it sealed up again because I did not have a good place for it originally, and I did not want it to. Yeah, see, it's still wrapped in plastic inside here. So it comes in multiple pieces. Here's the base. Ooh, it's relatively weighty base. Gentle Giant Limited. Star Wars: The Old Republic Darth Malgus statue. You got that right there. That's the bottom of it. And then it's got 2 post holes and then protective plastic on the top. And the post holes are for Darth Malgus's feet. And here he is. He's got a little styrofoam on him. I'll hold him up and then I'll put him. I will put him in the base. Hope I'm gonna be able to.
Yeah, Machete. He says you could leave Malgus displayed now during the podcast.
I could. I'll put him on the shelf behind me, probably. Is this correct? It's not fitting in very easily. It's got 2 like pegs on the bottom of his feet. Oh, 1, 2. Okay, there. Got that in, and then packaged separately. This little paper, rolled in paper. I imagine this is his lightsaber blade. In all of my action figures over the years, the lightsaber blades were always the first thing to be damaged or broken. Ooh, yes. Wow.
His cape is really cool from the back. They did a good job on that.
Yeah. So there we go. Let's take it back apart to peel that plastic off. But
I'm kind of like scrolling through Gentle Giant's website too while we talk, and
are they still
they
around?
do.
Are they still alive?
Yeah, They're still there, and they do have a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. So here we're looking at Darth Malgus. It is the classic Malgus pose, his lightsaber, the cloak, the cape is all
Billowy.
billowy. The hood is down. It is not toggleable, just so you know. It does look like fabric, but it's all solid plastic. So plastic epoxy resin, not metal. Um, but well painted, well formed. His head doesn't rotate. Trying to not try to rotate his head too hard. So there we go. And then just the whole box itself was super cool. I've had the entire collector's edition box on many shelves over the years. In fact, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's been on the shelves behind me since the start of since I put this new studio together. I'll bring this back here. I'll show you this again. Make sure I put it on the right way.
I mean, that's cool that you kept it all this time and that it's still meaningful.
Yeah, I don't buy boxed games anymore, but the couple that I had from, the originals, the first three expansions of WoW, the original were all collector's editions for that. Um, I still sort of cherish that, and then I've got a couple others that I'm not as interested in. I mean, on the shelf behind me there's a StarCraft, the original StarCraft 2. That's Diablo 2 when it first came out, the box from that. But the World of Warcrafts and the Star Wars, those were sort of like my start into MMOs, where I got really really deep into them. Of course, World of Warcraft, of course, and I'm sure I already also have my original box for Ultima, the couple of the Ultima games and Ultima Online in particular. Steel Sean on that side. And Jace,
Malcolm.
who's not around anymore.
He's one of my favorite characters.
Maybe in your game he is, but not in everybody's, so he's not going to be in any of our stuff. And then on the top of the box is the logo. It says Collector's Edition. And on the bottom of the box is nothing. It's a little scuffed. I don't know if it came that way or... So there we go. That was fun. That was a fun little walkthrough, especially since I had never really completely unpacked it myself ever before.
Yeah.
So
right.
That is cool. I'll keep Malgus out. I'm gonna have to clean it up and take the plastic off. I'll put him on a shelf somewhere behind us so he can come hang out. Maybe I'll bring him up to the desk every time we do this show.
Now, have they said, I don't think they have, but maybe I missed it. Have they said how they're going to sell the access to this vendor? I mean, is it going to be...
No, they haven't. So that's a good question. And that's what a lot of people are still asking and wondering as well. Will you have to pay money in the cartel market, or, cartel coins in the cartel market, or is it going to be just granted to everyone? Or no, they haven't said. They have not said.
I was thinking it would be either for cartel coins or it'd be on the website for $. I never thought of the free idea. But that is
either like
certainly an option.
Free, or a bonus of some kind, or or like a reward for an achievement of some kind. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I know other games that have made digital assets from a collector's edition available in game have charged money for it. So there's a precedence.
There is a precedence, and it's oftentimes, and I've heard developers talk about this, it's less about them needing to make money off of it, and more about ensuring that people who did pay extra money for it feel like they're you know, that they're not getting shortchanged. That just that's everyone else is going to end up paying money
Well,
as well.
what the version of that I've heard is that if they ever want to sell a collector's edition in the future, they're protecting themselves by charging for it so that people don't just think, well, if I just wait, I'll get it for free.
If I just wait 10 years.
Right, right. I'll slyly
I will-
wait for 10 years.
I'll wait them out.
Yes,
You can't get me. I'll get it for free 10 years from now.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So there we go. When we find out more about when it will actually be available, maybe that's some questions that we can try to get answered. Post it in the new forums. That's what it's for. Ask that question. Hopefully we'll get some news on that. Hopefully we'll get some news on when 7.1.1 is coming out, and hopefully that is coming out soon. I need it. I need it now. And then I need 7.2. The 7.2 is really what I need. 7.2, which I hope would then have story, and I would love more group content in another operation.
Of course.
I would love that.
For sure.
Faux show. But with that, I think we can wrap this up, and EPC 440 can get kicked out an airlock to broadcast this episode to all of you out there. All the feed and subscribe links are on newoverlords.com and YouTube/newoverlords. And you can also come chat with us in our Discord, which is at newoverlords.com/Discord. Follow on Twitter at Max the Gray and at The New Overlords. And we will keep you up to date there too, both for this show and for our Behind the Games podcast show, which sometimes has BioWare or BioWare related people that are getting interviewed. For the Ilea Iacta S Guild on Starforge and in all the games that we play, check out aie-guild.org, and the Discord link for that is in the upper right of the Guild website. Jump in there, jump in the Guild Discord. We would be happy to get you an invite to our guild on the Republic or the Imperial side. And we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.